What's up, everybody? CivILL here, and welcome to Madden 2020 or Madden 20. It's been a long time since I made a video, and I'm genuinely excited. You know, I got my jersey on. I'm a huge football fan, die-hard Niner fan, so I'm excited. I'm so excited. I wanted to restart my channel with this. I'm gonna be playing several games. But sports is going to be my biggest thing. But let's go and get started. Let's take a look at what Madden 20 has to offer us. Alright, y'all. So I've been playing Madden since like Madden 05. So I'm going to be playing as an expert, simulation, and obviously my favorite team. Even got his jersey, 49ers, bro. Richard Sherman. So let's go ahead and continue. Most of my channel, especially with the sports, is going to be like a franchise mode or my GM mode for 2K or career mode for FIFA. So I'm going to be focusing on franchise. I am going to be touching Ultimate Team, and I might play online. It depends, because sometimes it's so toxic. I'm not scared of people talking mess, but yeah, it's kind of like I want to get some good content. I want to give anybody any clout or any type of other attention, and them blowing up through my channel, even though I only got like, what, 50 subscribers. But anyways, let's go and get started. All Madden, simulation, everything else is on. Oh, what's career clock? Oh, okay. 15 minutes with the accelerated clock. When I record my games, it's going to be more highlights or critical moments. It's not going to be the whole game. Yeah, no one's going to watch that. I don't want to play that. But everything's going to be manual. I like taking care of everything from scouting to signing free agents to trades to roster changes, depth chart, everything. So everything's gonna be done by me. So what I'm thinking about doing is making one video for business and behind the scenes stuff, and then one video for the games. But you know, let me know how y'all feel about that. All right, y'all. So the first thing I want to do is look at the roster, see what changes need to be made, who's starting, who areas we need to improve on, players we need to focus on training to go ahead and move up. So let's go ahead and look at the roster. All right, so we got Jimmy Garoppolo. Last year he had a torn ACL, I think week 3 against the Chiefs, and now he's back. Decent salary. He's about a C+ on overall, but I have faith in what he can do. Nick Mullins obviously balled out once Beathard got benched, and obviously Garoppolo being out for the season, and Beathard obviously bumped down the depth chart, but hopefully Garoppolo stays healthy. We don't have to worry about our backup quarterbacks. So one of the biggest signings the Niners had was Tevin Coleman. He's from the Atlanta Falcons. He was signed. Shanahan basically coached him when he was with Atlanta, I believe. Or yeah, looks like it. And Breida went and emerged as one of the top producers for the Niners last year. Reason why is because Jerick McKinnon, at the last day of training camp, I believe has tore his ACL as well. So we are stacked at running back. Raheem Mostert broke his arm late last year. Hopefully he makes the roster. And Jeff Wilson Jr., he was very productive, but he had trouble fumbling the ball. And his carrying rate somewhat reflects that. But we are stacked at running back. I may even try to trade one or two just for the sake of the video game. Obviously, I have nothing against any of the players that are on the Niners and represent them. Juszczyk, I know you can't pronounce that, but it's pronounced Juszczyk. One of the best fullbacks in the game. Might be overpaid, but very, very solid as a utility player. So Marquise Goodwin, he's had an up and down career with the Niners so far, but I'm still happy he's part of the organization. Dante Pettis was our second-round pick last year. Kendrick Bourne, solid slot receiver. Jordan Matthews, a veteran, somewhat. You know, he has 5 years experience, but can still get it done. Trent Taylor would be good in the slot. His overall is a little bit lower than what it was in last year's. Our second-round pick, Deebo Samuel, this year, overall is pretty low, but I'm pretty sure that's just because he's a rookie. They might be trying to balance that a little bit more. Richie James Jr., solid slot receiver. I think he returns kicks as well. And Jalen Hurd was, I believe, our 3rd or 4th round pick. Already getting in scuffles in training camp, so he has a lot of heart and passion. I hope he makes the roster too. He's going to be a utility player. Plays almost every skill position on the offense. All right, there's a man, George Kittle. I'm going to be looking into their abilities. You see that rack 'em up logo. Probably run after catch. He's very solid with that. He had a breakout game against the Broncos and almost made history for most yards in the game by a tight end. We have Garrett Selleck, solid backup tight end. He doesn't look like his overall would be where we run a 2 tight end set too much, but probably something to look into. Then we got Levine Toilolo. Don't know if I pronounced that, so I'm sorry. Caden Smith, another rookie. I'm pretty sure he was in the late rounds. Kyle Nelson, I think, is the long snapper as well. His overall is a 43, and Colin Holba is a 42, so those guys might not make the roster, not even close. And look at their catch ratings. Not good. Veteran Joe Staley, 90 overall. On the back end of his career, unfortunately, but always been solid and loyal to the 49ers. Then we have Sean Coleman, Justin Skull, and Daniel Brunskill. Like I said, more roster cuts possibly, but we want to make sure that we have depth on the offensive line and defensive line. So let's go ahead and move forward and review it. Laken Tomlinson was a top pick years ago. I'm not sure about his contract situation. Ben Garland. Weston Richburg's overall took a steep hit. Look at that contract. Basically, so just to break it down real quick, the savings would be, that's how much money we save, but obviously the penalty outweighs that. So we would lose money if we cut him at this point. And Magnuson's overall is low too, so we might need to work on the offensive line, at least the interior of it. Mike Person, not too bad. 75 is about average. Joshua Garnett was a top pick. Has somewhat been disappointed. His overall is kind of low, and Najee Toran probably not going to make it. Mike McGlinchey was our 1st round pick last year, and he was actually really solid. I remember during the draft, everyone kind of reacted, going, "What are we doing?" You know, as far as what we need. But he's turned out to be a very safe pick. He might be moving to left tackle once Staley retires, both in my franchise mode as well as in real life.
A hell of a time. Let's go to the commissioner and find out what San Francisco does now.
With the 9th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Mike McGlinchey, offensive tackle, Notre Dame.
Willie Beavers, Christian DeLauro. Don't know too much about these guys, but their overalls looks like I need to sign some depth for the offensive line. All right, now onto the defense. One of our biggest pickups was D Ford. Now, D Ford is a beast. However, he's probably despised in Kansas City. We picked him up in a trade, but he was offsides on a turnover that could have won the Chiefs the AFC Championship game against the Patriots. That's something that, you know, hopefully something like that doesn't happen if we ever get to that point with him. I know it's a mental error. I know he's a lot smarter than that. I know he could beat me up just by saying any of this, but D Ford, I'm happy you're with the team. Hopefully you do a very good job, and I think you will. Right behind him, we have Julian Taylor, Kentavious Street, and Capron Lewis Moore. Kentavious Street was injured all of last year. His overall doesn't reflect the potential he has, obviously, in real life. They had videos of him working out. This guy's an absolute beast, so I hope he has a chance to prove himself when it comes to him making the roster. Julian Taylor is also, I feel, someone that's very underrated, just based on flashes of not dominance, but consistency. I think that's the biggest thing before you get to dominance. Nick Bosa, number 2 overall pick, selected by the San Francisco 49ers in the 2019 NFL Draft. Very happy we got him. Right behind him, we have Solomon Thomas, and we have Ronald Blair III. So we have a little bit more depth on the defensive line, at least at the end positions, versus offensive line. All right, DeForest Buckner, do a contract extension. I sincerely hope he gets it. He's going to be getting it in this game for sure. He is underrated and very unappreciated when it comes to the rest of the league. Loyal Niner fans know his effect and his value to this team, and I really hope he stays. Of course, the Niners and him have to agree, so I hope management does whatever they can to get him signed. Arik Armstead was his running mate back at the University of Oregon, and he was one of our top picks years ago. Same thing with DeForest Buckner. Right behind them, we have Sheldon Day, DJ Jones, and Cedric Thornton. All right, linebackers. We got Malcolm Smith and Mark Nizocha. I think that's how you say it. That might be one of our spots to draft in the next draft, just based on them both basically being 30 years old and their overalls not being high. We may be moving forward for them soon. Quan Alexander was a pickup from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was coming off an ACL injury, I believe, as well. His contract is pretty massive. There's no reason for us to cut him. He's 25 years old, 78 overall. We would only save $280,000 versus the $14.3 million that will cost to cut him. Next up, we have David Mayo. Don't know too much about him. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayo, but glad you're on the Niners, at least for now. And Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw has a lot of potential. He has a solid character. There's a story when he was back in college how he I don't really want to get into it. This is about Madden, but I'm happy he's a Niner. I hope he could represent us to with the highest of character. Next one's Fred Warner. Fred Warner was a third-round pick last year. Came up big due to us losing Reuben Foster. Reuben Foster, like I said, kind of outside of the Madden realms, but we had to let him go due to his character. But I'm glad Fred Warner is part of the team. We have Elijah Lee right behind him and Leroy Reynolds. And looks like we might need some more depth at outside linebacker as well. All right, so Richard Sherman, shut down corner. Happy he's a Niner. I've obviously been showing my jersey. You can see the 25. Yeah. And then we got Jason Verrett from the San Diego Chargers. He's been injury prone, but we signed him to a 1-year deal. Hopefully he stays healthy. And he in real life will be competing for that second spot. I know we have Akello Witherspoon and Jimmy Ward, Quan Williams, but I'm glad we're addressing the secondary. You got Jimmy Ward, hated for the most part amongst Niner fans. I've never really thought too much of it. I just feel like, man, that's had a few bad breaks. Quan Williams, Akello Witherspoon's overall is extremely low. Don't know why. Greg Mabin and Tim Harris. I think Tim Harris is a rookie, but Greg Mabin's been on the practice squad in the Madden games. All right, safety, got Adrian Colbert, got Anton Exum, DJ Reed, and Tavarius Moore. I'm going to see if any of these guys are better at cornerback or quarterback's better at safety. We'll see how that falls, but obviously help in the safety position still needed. And Jaquaski Tart, Marcel Harris, 7th round pick, was pretty solid last year. And Tyree Robinson, I like Jaquaski. It's hard to think he's already 27 and has 4 years experience because I remember first hearing his name. So you got Robbie Gould. Robbie Gould wanted to hold out, wanted to go back to Chicago. He eventually signed a long-term deal. I don't think it took effect in the game, but basically, he's been the best part of our offense the last few years with Garoppolo being hurt. Before we got Garoppolo, he's been very consistent. And our new punter, who was our punter last year? Pinion, I think. Anyways, Mitch Wishnowsky, I think we took him in the 4th round. Is there any way we could look? So Wishnowsky was drafted 4th round, pick number 8 by us in the 2019 draft. We obviously need help at different positions, but we also needed a punter, and based on what he can do in real life, he seems like a very dynamic punter very uncommon and very rare for a position such as punter. So that's gonna be interesting. Obviously, with the D Ford trade, we lost our second round pick for 2020. Looks like we have all of the rest of our picks. And based on us, if we're in a will now mode, we may try to move those to get pieces now or stockpile up picks. I'm very weird when it comes to that. One thing you'll see in my 2K mode, or I'm sorry, my GM for 2K would basically be, I like getting draft picks. I like stocking them up. I like trying to get as much as I can. Obviously not ridiculous where I drop the value for draft picks, but yeah. So let's look at the free agents, and right now I already see Eric Berry. He used to be part of the Chiefs team. I might sign him and move him to free safety. Speed's not too bad, but there's going to be a few free agents, so let's go ahead and go by position. Not really too much help at quarterback unless someone gets hurt. Alex Collins would be a decent running back, but I'm stacked at running back, so I don't know if that's going to be of any use. Fullback not needed. Might sign one just in case. Probably don't need it. But Trey Madden, as far as his speed, and maybe he can do the same things that Juszczyk does. Ooh, Des Bryant. Pierre Garçon was a Niner last year. I might bring him back in the game. I don't know. Depends. Brandon Marshall. Terrence Williams. There's a few people on here. Martavius Bryant. Tight end. Don't really need a tight end. There's a pretty big gap between Kittle and Selleck. So I might bring maybe Safarian Jenkins. Depends on how much cap room we have after everything. But also other people can sign him too, so we'll see. Offensive line is always the hardest to fill, especially through free agency, because linemen are so valuable. I don't think there's anyone worth signing as far as overall goes. And as well as the age, there's such a big gap. I might have to sign Fusco and hope. Jeremy Parnell, look at his face. He's done. He won't play no more. And then Donald Penn was with the Raiders, and then Barksdale was with the Chargers. So William Hayes, probably the second best free agent. Damata Pecco, he's been around for a long time. It's always iconic because you see his hair. Earl Mitchell was a Niner. Might not bring him back. Stacy McGee, Derek Morgan, Sam Acha, sorry. Connor Barwin. Not too many guys as far as outside linebackers. Josh Bynes fits the scheme, but we'll see. Nick Perry. See, he's more of a 3-4 defensive end. I'm sorry, 3-4 linebacker. So he might be moved to defensive end. And we'll see. We'll see. There might be some potential for the linebackers here. Kayvon Webster, I don't even know if he's ever been picked up recently. He's been a free agent in Madden. Morris Claiborne, I believe last play with the Jets. And Skandrick's been primarily with the Cowboys, but has moved around too. And Captain Munnerlyn is a free agent. That's pretty surprising. He was with Carolina the majority of his career too. Trey Boston, that actually might be someone I look into free safety. Glover Quinn, I know he recently retired, but he's still in Madden. And Marcus Gilchrist, maybe. Eric Berry might be moved over to free safety. Cyprin and Mike Mitchell all maybe to add for depth. We'll see. Don't need a kicker. And punter will stick with Wisnowski. But yeah, this is the overall view of the top free agents. We'll see what we can do in regards to bringing them aboard. Alright, so this is the scheme for the 49ers. West Coast zone run in a 4-3 cover 3. I might be tweaking it a little bit just to match the personnel a little better so they could develop quicker. That's one of the biggest things in Madden I like, is they use the scheme fit to kind of help get pieces that fit the scheme, but also incentivize getting players that do fit the scheme by growing quicker. See, for example, vertical zone run. That almost helps everybody that's on the team. So for the sake of Madden, I'm going to do the vertical zone run. We're just going to do the 46 defense. It's more of a scheme fit. I don't think it changes the playbook too much. So now what we're going to do is look at the trade block, see what teams are trading particular pieces that may help or may add depth, and just overall see what other teams are thinking. Derrick Henry's on the trade block, and he's a beast. He's a beast. This man should not be playing running back, but he has a natural gift for it and is terrifying to stop. Austin Eckler is interesting, but we have so much depth at running back. If anything, we might be adding a name to this list. No fullbacks. Alan Hearns, he just signed with the Dolphins. He had a nasty injury in the playoffs, and I'm glad that he's actually got a contract. Tajay Sharp and Jakeem Grant, and then Josh Reynolds from the Rams, as well as Ryan Switzer from the Steelers, and Jaron Brown. I could go on and on and on and on. All right, Eric Ebron. I have a love and hate relationship, or I have love and hate for this guy because he signed with the Colts. He's on my fantasy team. This man would blow up for a game and then disappear for a game. Just so hot and cold. I wonder if he has consistency issues in the game. That's interesting. Vernon Davis was a first-time Niner. Got a championship with the Broncos. He started with the Niners, and he was one of my favorite players. Cameron Brate from the Buccaneers, and DeValve from the Browns. Maybe too much depth behind Njoku over there. All right, linemen, once again, just very tough to come across any type of depth, so that's one thing I will focus on in the draft. Anthony Zettel, don't know too much about him. Cleveland Browns. Justin Ellis. Trent Murphy with the Buffalo Bills. Terrell Basham. Kendall Beckham. There's a lot of people on here I don't know, but that's probably why they're on the trade block. And I want to learn how to pronounce this guy's name. That's a pretty interesting last name. Brandon Carr's on the trade block. Damontae Kazee. I might look into that depending on what we can do. And yeah, that's kind of... Alright, y'all, so that's going to conclude this video. Remember to comment, like, share, subscribe. And if not, I still got love for y'all. I'm going to be a lot more consistent, but just less frequent. So I'm thinking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, or Friday, Saturday. Somewhere where you all can look forward to videos coming out. No matter what it is, it'll be on a consistent basis. Having a full-time job that pays for a lot of things that I absolutely need in life, that obviously comes first. But thank you for your patience. Thank you for family, friends, anybody that has supported me and have asked me to do videos and been patiently waiting and have suggestions and feedback and everything. I'm on Instagram at CivILL. Gonna start getting my Twitter up soon, and on YouTube, find me obviously CivILL. You're here right now. So thank you so much. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. And if not, I still got love for y'all. Until the next one.